You've ever wonder what's inside a secret CIA file? Well, today we're doing just that. We're cracking one open to get a look at how the CIA understood one of the most powerful, long-lasting regimes in the Middle East. Let's get into it. So this document is from August 1983. And you gotta understand, this was the absolute peak of Hafez al-Assad's power in Syria. This file gives us this incredible, secret look, a real window into how America's top spies were analyzing his strategy, his game plan for staying in control.
So the big question is, what did they find? What was the secret sauce? What was the formula that let one guy hold an entire nation in an iron grip for decades? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out by digging into this file.
Okay, so the first thing the CIA points to is the absolute foundation of Assad's power. And it wasn't just about politics or the army. It was something deeper. It was about his sect, what the file literally calls his Alawite fortress. So you might be asking, who are the Alawites? Well, they're a minority group, a branch of Shia Islam. And back then, they were just a tiny slice of the Syrian population. And that right there, that's the key to understanding everything. You have this small group in charge of a huge Sunni majority. Check out this map from the file. It shows where the Alawites traditionally lived, kind of tucked away in these coastal mountains. What Assad did was pretty clever, in a way. He systematically pulled his people, his fellow Alawites, from this region and put them in all the most important jobs, especially in the military and the intelligence services. And this chart, wow, it really puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? Just 13%. When you're a minority that small holding all the power, your situation is, well, it's pretty shaky. It naturally creates this intense us versus them mindset. And here's the real kicker, right from the file. Assad basically tied his own fate to the fate of his entire community. So for the Alawite elite, backing Assad wasn't just about being loyal. No, the CIA figured it was about pure survival. If he went down, they all went down. But, loyalty from a minority group, that's not going to be enough on its own. So the file points to a second pillar holding up his regime, pure, calculated, and absolutely brutal force, a real iron fist. And the file lays out how things got worse and worse. You can see it building through the late 70s. The opposition, mainly from the Muslim Brotherhood, gets more and more violent. And it all comes to a head in 1982 with a massive uprising in the city of Hama. This was a direct, we're coming for you, challenge to Assad's power. So how did Assad respond? Well, it was completely overwhelming. Just look at these images of the aftermath. The CIA report says his forces used heavy artillery to, and this is a direct quote, flatten opposition-held quarters of the city. We're not talking about a precise operation here. This was total destruction. The human cost, it's just staggering. The CIA's own private estimate for the number of civilians killed was 10,000. Just let that sink in, 10,000 people. And there it is, black and white, right from the intelligence assessment. You see, the Hama massacre, it wasn't just about stopping one rebellion. It was a message, a terrifying message sent to the entire country. This is what happens if you defy me. Okay, so he's crushed his enemies on the outside, but here's where the CIA's analysis gets really interesting. They believed the biggest threat to Assad wasn't out there anymore. Nope, it was inside the very fortress he'd built for himself. Think about it. Once you've wiped out all of the opposition, who's left that could possibly challenge you? Well, it's the people who are already powerful. His own Alawite generals, his own family. The threat was now coming from inside the house, so to speak. And the report gets super specific. It points to one guy in particular, Assad's own younger brother, Rifaat, who was known to be really ambitious. The CIA analysts thought that whenever they argued in public, it was probably just for show, political theater. But under the surface, a real power struggle was simmering. And this is where the story gets wild. Remember, the CIA wrote the secret analysis in August 1983. Fast forward just 9 months, and their biggest prediction that the real threat was internal is about to come true in a huge, dramatic way. What happens next is straight out of a political thriller. This secret assessment that probably only a few dozen people in the world had even read suddenly explodes into a real-life public showdown that would literally decide who ruled Syria. And boom, here's the evidence. A newspaper from May 1984. The headline tells you everything. Assad's brother reportedly exiled. Just like that, the CIA's top secret prediction was now front-page news for everyone to see. So here's how it all went down in 3 crazy steps. First, Hafez al-Assad has a massive heart attack. Suddenly, there's a power vacuum. Step 2, his brother Rifaat makes his move. He sends his troops into the streets to try and take over. But then, step 3, Hafez recovers, and he immediately forces his own brother into exile. The CIA's analysis of an internal threat? It was spot on. Absolutely correct. So let's zoom out. What's the big picture here? This 1983 file, it's not just a snapshot in time. It's basically the blueprint, the instruction manual for a system of power that didn't just last for Hafez al-Assad's lifetime. He actually passed it down to his son.
So let's just recap the whole formula. Pillar 1, build your fortress on the loyalty of a minority group. Pillar 2, use a massive, brutal security force to crush anyone who steps out of line. And Pillar 3, keep a tight grip on rivals, even inside your own family, to make sure you're the only one calling the shots. That was the Assad playbook, right there.
And all of this leaves us with one last big question. This secret file from 1983, it totally nailed the strengths and the weaknesses of Assad's regime. It laid out a system that was built to survive at all costs, but it was all built on this really delicate, really brutal balance of power. And it just makes you wonder, a fortress built on fear and family, how long can something like that really last?